Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissack and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissack.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
I feel like I saw you recently, but gosh, where have we been since then? I've been to Ohio.
You've been everywhere probably since then.
Oklahoma, everywhere. Yeah.
How was Oklahoma? I saw you all had like a passing of the baton.
Oh, was that not the sweetest? Mo is
so
like
sweet.
So precious.
I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't know like all the details, but I saw some of the pictures and I was like, that looks so cute.
Yeah. And the people are amazing. I feel so blessed. You know, we had our first leadership academy there and it was very well attended. I mean, it's really a blessing and I love all the people. And so that helps, but Mo does everything first class. I mean, she does nothing that's not first class. So I wouldn't expect anything less. So it was fun. And I had some of those WWMD bracelets. What would Mo do?
Oh, you did?
I had some of those left over from remember when we had her. So we handed them out to everybody because I'm like, I don't want y'all to forget. Don't forget what Mo would do. Not under our watch.
I love that so much. That's so fun. Well, it's like nonstop. I mean, family reunion, we leave in 5 days, I think. It's crept up on me quick.
Yeah, I bet you're a nervous wreck.
There's a lot going on. I mean, I actually was looking this morning. The calendar itself is like from 7 a.m. to like 9 p.m. every single day. It's wild, but it's always a good time. I'm really excited this year because where I got a booth for my book, like Adam is going, Amelia's going, my little cousin Addison, who helps me with a lot of stuff, I'm flying her in with Heather. So they're going to all be there to like work at the book, book booth. And then they're going to come to Inspirational Morning and like they'll be around the whole time. So we're going to go to Keller Classic, the Top Golf thing and stuff like that. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be fun. That's awesome.
So
is that before or after the golf thing? Is that before or after?
The golf thing is on Saturday night right after the CEO Summit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And boy, everybody's looking for a CEO ticket if there's anybody that has any.
Yeah, I actually gave mine to a recruit yesterday. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to just get in somehow. I'm like going to beg at the door because, I mean, there's none. You can't find them anywhere. But we had
I wish they'd make a bigger room.
I know. I think that they could sell more if they did that for sure. But we've got more agents going this year than we've ever had in 10 years. So I'm so excited.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I think our region, Wendy told us that our region is one of the top for number of recruits.
I believe it because I feel like we've had a ton.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Yep. Good deal. All right. So what we got today? What are we going to cover?
Okay. So last week, I feel like so many things have happened. I kept saying to Amelia, so Amelia got her braces off last week and then she gets her driver's license the day we get back from Atlanta. And I kept telling her February is like her month. And then I didn't realize, I think it's been mine too, because between the book launch and then last week, I mean, Linda, it was so wild, but I ended up reaching my goal of hitting USA Today bestseller list, number 14 on the list.
That's awesome. I saw that.
Oh my gosh. And it's so nerve-wracking because you have no idea. I mean, you just don't know, you know? I mean,
it all depends on if somebody super, famous drops their book the same week.
Yeah. And you know what was so wild? I'll have to, it's downstairs. I should have brought it up here, but I went and got the paper the next day to, of course, get the list in there. But I didn't even think about dropping the week of Valentine's Day. There was like Valentine's little blue truck and Mr. and Miss Valentine's and like all these Valentine's books on there. And I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah, it was just wild. So Adam's great at reminding me about the Maxwell preparation on the front end, reflection on the back end. So this week he's like, I think that you really need to reflect and come up with the lessons that you learn from hitting the list and like the process. And so I did that on Friday. I took a little bit of time on Friday morning And I came up with 7 lessons, and you're going to love them, but you're going to really love 2 of them. But you're going to, number one, but so I thought I'd share those, and I hope that they'll be able to help other people. So I'll just go right into them. So number one, and this, and I wrote your name down when I wrote about this, but number one is set the big impossible goal. Like, set the big impossible goal. And this is a shameless plug. People need to join your challenge that's starting out on March. What is it? March 2nd. Okay. We'll put more info about that, but because I know you're going to talk a lot about that. But it was funny because there was like, I don't know, maybe 6 or so people that let me back up. So the list, it drops at 6 a.m. the Wednesday after, so like at 5:59, I'm like refreshing, like ready to look in the morning. And Adam did get frustrated with me about this. So, there's 150. Well, I started you open it up and then you click, view the list. And then I just went to the bottom because I was like, I'm just going to start at 150. Well, I'm scrolling and I'm like, oh crap, because I don't see me anywhere. And then I get to 50 and I'm like, oh, like I just felt like I was going to throw up. And I keep scrolling up a little bit more. And then I saw Restore, Dana Gentry. And then I scrolled to the left and I saw 14. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way. Thank you, Lord. Like, I could not believe it. But Adam's like, really? I would have started scrolling from the top. I'm like, okay, well, that's the difference between me and you.
Yeah, exactly.
But after I hit the list, or after I saw that I hit the list, there was like, I don't know, 6 or 7 people that I text. And you were one of them. And Linda, what you said, honestly, it made me cry because I was like, that she's so right. And you said most people would have never have set that goal at all. Yeah. And it really made me think, the old me 10 years ago, I would have never have said, I want to hit a bestseller list for my first book. Mm-hmm. Never in a million years. I would have just said, I think I might write a book, I don't, but so my first lesson was set the big impossible goal. Like, everybody should know something right now that is a big goal. That is something that's impossible to them, because it really, that's kind of funny because that was my number. So my number 2 lesson was, it's really all about the journey, not the achievement. Because so as great as that was, honestly, the next day was the next day. I dealt with the same crap on Thursday that I deal with on most days.
Maybe even more crap sometimes.
Maybe even more crap, to be honest. It was amazing. And I don't want to diminish anything about the gratitude that I have for it. But it was another day. I mean, quite frankly. And Adam even said that night, are you still like, what are you feeling? And I was like, honestly, I don't like, I'm just like on to family reunion, quite frankly. Like, I'm on to the next thing. And so, but then when I thought, the whole journey has been amazing. And so it really is like, it's all in the journey. So if you set the big impossible goal, and then when you hit it, it's like, I'm already trying to think of what's next. And not because I feel like I need to get some fix or whatever, but it's just because the journey was great and I was challenged and I learned a ton.
And who you became, quite honestly, Dana, is so much more powerful because you did go for that big goal and you stretched so far that who you become is a brand new launching pad for anything else you want to do.
Yep. So true. Yeah. Yep. So true. So number 2, it's all truly is in the journey, and you just kind of have to know that. Number 3, I said, is don't be afraid to put things out there, because people really are for you. And, sometimes I go into this like little space of, out of the, I don't know, 10,000 wonderful people, like the 2 or 3 people that are negative towards me. And I'm like, oh, well, they don't like me, so nobody else is going to buy my book. You know what I mean? Like, you just go sometimes, like your head goes to that space. And this really taught me that people are for you. So like, don't be afraid to put stuff out there. And, so many people said to me, oh my gosh, so many people said, why are you even worried? Like, you're going to hit it. You're going to hit it. But it reminded me of what John Maxwell has always said. Other people see things in you that you don't see in yourself. And I think no matter how confident you are of a person, because I feel like I don't struggle with like low self-esteem. I mean, I'm a pretty confident person, but you still, like, other people see things in you that still sometimes you don't even see in yourself. And
Yes.
it was wild because so then later on that day, I texted a few people who had given me an endorsement and just said, thank you so much. Like, this is everybody's win as much as it is mine. And I'm just grateful. And one of the people that I texted was Gary. And I just said, thank you so much. I just wanted you to see, like, I made the list, and thank you for all the wonderful things that you wrote in the endorsement. And he said, this is so huge and a real testament for who you are and what you've written. You've always been real, honest, and humble, and people trust you. And even to
Yeah.
have other people affirm you, like, there's
Yeah.
just, people are for you, and don't forget that. Like, that was a lesson that I needed to be reminded of.
Yeah. And you got to focus on the few or whoever, for whatever reason, that aren't in life. You got to say, how do I lean into the people who are for me?
Yeah. Did you ever used to do that though? Or is that just me? Like, have you ever been like, oh, that one person doesn't like me, so nobody's going to.
Yeah, it's so funny because I remember a few specific times in my life, and I would go and try. Like, one of them was a couple agents that when I came in the business and I started hiring assistants, and no one had assistants, and I started marketing and branding, and no one had really done that. They just really got it out for me, and I don't really know why. So I remember saying to Jim one day, "We're going to go over to their office, and I'm going to try to figure out what in the world could I have done that maybe I missed." And I remember we went there and they denied, defended, deflected, that they even felt that way. And so I felt like I at least done my part, and
Yeah.
that's all I could do. And then I
Yeah.
just decided I'm going to win anyway, right? I'm going to
Yeah.
win anyway. And I think you have to do your part if there's something that maybe you have done that you've missed or whatever. But other
Yep.
than that, you got to keep going.
Yeah. Yep. Totally agree. Yep. Okay. My next one, number 4, was really simple. The lesson I learned was do the work, but get a strategy. And strategy is something that you and I have actually talked a lot about, I feel like. And, I went back to the one-on-one that I had with Rory Vaden. And if you remember, Linda, I asked him, what is the difference between, the 1,000 people with brand builders and the 1%ers? And he said, I'll never forget it. That was a marking moment in my life when he answered this question. He said, number 1, they have a calling on their life from God, and they recognize the calling. And number 2 is they put a strategy in place, and then number 3, they follow the strategy. And
And I always think about what Gary said for years. You need people more than they need you, and
yeah.
then no one succeeds alone. And I think what people tend to do is they tend to try to accomplish it themselves. And what I saw you do, and I think any smart person does, this is my first line of a strategy, is I find a community, I find
Yep.
a mentor, someone who knows the shortcuts on how to help me get there. And then
Yep.
I look for the accountability so that I stay on track for it. And I
Yep.
think you did every one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And truthfully, I don't think if I would have had the strategy, I mean, for me, the strategy was following the brand builder strategy. But if I would have had the strategy, I really don't. I mean, outside of, God, I don't think I would have hit the book because,
Yeah.
and this, I mean, I'm a winger and I'm like
Yeah, me too.
a professional winger. And so I really felt like I would have just winged it, and I probably would have sold some books and it would have been fine. But I truly believe without the strategy, I would not have hit the list.
Totally.
So definitely number 4 is follow the strategy.
When I think about your impossible goal, the 2 things that you did that are super important for an impossible goal, Dana, is you put a very short timeline. And that timeline created such a sense of urgency for you. Whereas if you'd just been said, you know what, I'm going to write a book someday usually never comes for anybody, right?
Yeah.
But because the goal was so big and the timeline was so short, it really kind of forces and works like magic. This is kind of what I taught in Oklahoma last week, is use this as a tool for your life, right? Because if you look past in your life, and you'll always have this as a tool now moving forward, it's worked many other times in your life, but we
Yeah.
forget about it as a tool. We wait till life happens to us and forces us to make a
Yeah.
decision that we're going to have to do something impossible. I looked back at mine, and most of mine that I wrote about in the 10X is easier than 2X were forced on me or presented to me. I had to make a decision. Which way am I going to go in this fork in the road?
Wow.
And I think because it happened, I learned that it does work. but how many times did I miss an opportunity to force it by making that impossible goal myself, right?
Yeah.
And so you with your impossible goal, you did the two most important things. You made it big and you made it short. And those
Yeah.
are two of the best things you can do.
Well, and
And then
actually
you
it's
got the accountability and you put your money up, and where your
I was
money
just
is,
about to
people
say
pay
that.
attention.
I was just
You
about to say
know?
that. My accountability, well, my accountability was two things. I mean, it definitely was the money. I mean, committing and
Yeah.
paying. I mean, I've spent a boatload of money, and it was 100% the money. I'm like, okay, if I'm paying all this, I am
Yes.
accountable to the outcome. But the second thing for me was just, when you put it out there. I think I shared this the day you were in Ohio. It is scary. And I mean, the night before the list, Wednesday night, it was 9:45, and Adam and I were sitting in the hot tub, and he said, "Why are you being so quiet?" And I turned around and I said, "What am I going to tell people tomorrow if I don't hit the list?" And he's like, "What do you mean? What are you going to tell people?" He was like shocked, and I'm like, "I don't know. I just keep thinking about what will I tell people?" And he's like, "Well, first of all, you're going to hit the list." And he's like, "But second of all, if for some crazy reason you don't," he's like, "you're going to tell them that you tried your hardest and you're on to the next big thing, and whatever." And he was like, "Why are you worried about it?" And I said, "I don't know. I feel accountable because I don't want to let everybody down, who supported me." And he's like,
Yeah.
he reminded me, that's good accountability. Like that's a good way of accountability, because you don't want to let the other people down. So
Yeah.
but it was interesting because even the night before, I felt like the enemy was like, "Hold on, let me just like creep in and freak her out a little bit, before
Yeah.
tomorrow."
Yeah. Of course.
Um, so number 5 lesson that I learned was get people in your corner / like there is power in proximity, which that's going to be one of my next books.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I sent when I told Gary, thanks for the endorsement. I sent him and said, I think so few people actually realize the power of our Keller Williams community. And
Mm-hmm.
again, it is not lost on me at all that if I
Yeah.
wouldn't have had multiple regions, including you guys, so thank you, Linda, and tons of OPs, and I mean, I would say 75%, maybe, probably. I don't have any final numbers yet. I still have no clue how many I sold to hit the list, but
Yeah.
it came from my Keller Williams community.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and whether that's somebody else is listening and it's your brokerage community or it's your organization or it's your church or whatever it is, get people in your corner and utilize the community, because that is a huge reason why I hit the list. And I don't want to I don't want to forget that. And also I think there's a lot of people that maybe they don't take advantage of the proximity and the community that they have, especially
Well,
it's
or
like
they may have a community, honestly, Dana, that doesn't care about helping each other win. I mean,
yeah,
you could have a big community, and still not get the same kind of support and, you know, camaraderie and, coming from abundance and those kind of things. So I don't know that just because you have a big group, it would still get the same result. You got to have
yeah,
people who
that's true.
care and want other people to win, and
Mhm.
understand that when one person wins, we all win.
Yep, that's so true. Yeah, I mean, I wrote down like so grateful for my KW family. I mean, Adam and his I Love Coaching community, they supported my small group. I mean, my little small group of all my influencer friends, like they all shared it on their. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is true. Like find people and get in your corner and take advantage of your community, or get in the right community if you aren't
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 6, so I just had 2 more. Number 6, and this is one I wouldn't normally say, but I said, do the research and actually know what you need to do. Because, again, with professional winging it, I'm not like a big researcher. And that's one thing I appreciate about Anna. She's a researcher.
Yes,
And
she is.
she will research them. Yeah, I'm not a big researcher.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I didn't get that gene. But on this, I knew that it was going to be a big impossible goal. I knew that, this was a huge thing. And so I researched the fire out of it. I had a whole Chat GPT project around it. I knew exactly. I researched, like, I text people like Graham Cochran, our friend, who I knew had hit a list, and said, "Okay, how many did you sell? What tip would you get?" Like, I had researched all the people who I knew who had hit a list and like came up with all the stuff. So that was a stretch for me because, again, that is not my natural profile at all. But I do think that paid off. And so that lesson that it taught me is on big things, I am going to research more around things,
Yeah.
because and you know what it did? Well, I told this to Adam when I shared these with him first, because he said, what did the research do for you other than help you hit the list? It actually gave me a little bit more confidence,
Mm-hmm.
because I had research, like I knew that Graham sold this many and he hit this number, and I knew that this person did this to get to this. And I was kind of like, okay, well, this is good. Like, now that I know this, it made me feel a little bit better, and it made me feel a lot less anxious, where normally I think I would have been a basket case, but I kind of felt like I got this.
Yeah. So, and I'm assuming what you mean by research is that different categories of book take different number of sales, and they all have to have, different addresses and all that thing. So it's
Yep.
legitimate people. And in each category, like ours was 10,000. We had to sell 10,000 to even remotely get a chance to get on the list. And
Wow.
so that's a good thing to know. And quite honestly, now with ChatGPT, we have no reason not to research.
Oh,
I
we
mean,
don't
I
at all.
can understand when we had to go find a book or read all these papers and stuff. You and I would never do it.
Yeah.
But with ChatGPT, we don't have
Yeah.
any excuse not to
There's
do
no
any
excuse.
research.
No,
Yeah.
there's no excuse at all. Even little things, research, like, and my strategist with Brain Builders, gosh, she's like a lifesaver. But, even little things like, my book was paperback. So the only list that I had a shot at hitting was USA Today. I mean, New York Times,
Yeah.
all them, they only take
Yeah.
hardcover books. So like, there's just so much research, that I'm so glad that I did. And then the last one, number 7, and this is something that you and I both have heard said many times. And truthfully, like, to me, this is the most important out of all of them. And it really was this, Linda, like, I took it as far as I possibly could, but I mean, God took it over the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
And it just, I mean, I just was like, oh my gosh, so grateful, because, and this was the first thing in a long time where, I'll keep having that saying in the back of my head from Chris Hodges. And, it's true. I mean, it really is true. I mean, he took it right over the finish line and blew my mind away. Like, I was down there looking in the 140s and he was all the way like up at 14, and I'm just like, it's just, yeah. So definitely just a good reminder and I know we've said this, but take stuff as far as you can, and then let God take it over the finish line, because it'll go further than you can.
Well, and I love what John Maxwell says, that you want to do such big things that people that know you know it had to be God.
Totally. Yeah. Which is so humbling, but it's so true.
Yes, that's awesome. The only thing I would add to, for having gone down this book journey myself, is always, if you're thinking about doing a book, always know what is the purpose of the book? What do you want the book to do?
Yep.
Because I feel like, quite honestly, and I always have so much on my plate that when I do something big, like write a book and it hits a bestseller list, all of the things, I never utilize it as much as I should.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes me a while to realize there is a momentum that goes with it that I could do good with, and I could use on whatever my platform or what I'm here to serve with. And I haven't in the past tended to take advantage of that. So I would say that would be super important. Have a whole plan after the book too, so that you can attract the people that you want to serve with the book. And I would say that would be, and then I would also say it doesn't have to be a 1,000-page book like a lot of people think. I think you can get a message across in a small book, and that's just as powerful. But nowadays, people want people who are in authority, and a books make someone in authority. And so we have to understand that one way to get authority is to publish a book.
Yeah, it's so true. I mean, that was really the reason we were FaceTiming with Adam's mom and stepdad, and you've heard me probably talk about his stepdad Bob before. He's just a rare. We love him, but he's a rare form. And we were FaceTiming him. They FaceTimed tell Adam happy birthday on Friday, and he said, "Well, how much money have you made from the book?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm in the hole, Bob." Yeah. And he's
I'll
like,
be in the hole for a while.
Yeah, I said, "I'll be in the hole for a while." And he's like, "Well, I don't understand. Why would you do something that you wouldn't make, money on or whatever?" He's been in stocks and everything his whole life. So everything's about making money. And I was trying to explain to him, well, a lot of people will write a book now to get more authority, to be more valid. Yeah. And so we went through this whole conversation with them on FaceTime, and they hold the phone this close to their face, and so we were trying to walk it through to him. But you did just make me think of one more thing. And when you said the short time frame, my original goal with the book was to be a 365 daily reader, and it was taking me so long. And then finally I got on one call with my strategist from BBG, and she said, people like to pack a punch these days. Like they like a shorter whatever. And she's like, why? I feel like this is you're dragging this out. It's stressing you out. And she was like, I think you need to just do 90 days. And she's like, eventually you'll have 4, but start with 90 days. And just that shift, I mean, I knocked it out and I was ready to go.
That's perfect. Well, and Dan Sullivan has books, a ton of the little books that you can read on a plane.
Yes.
And to be honest with you, I don't know. We're so information overloaded these days. I don't go for a big, thick book anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I go for smaller books that I can knock out real quick.
Yep.
So I totally agree with that. That's awesome.
Yep.
Well, Dana, this is great. And I would encourage anybody who has ever even thought they want to write a book to challenge them to put it on, make it something that feels impossible, but you can pull it off, right? You just have the right strategist, the right community, the right mentor, the right reasoning for doing it. Is it something that's been burning on your heart that you think, or something that's helped you that would probably help other people? So that's awesome. Love it. Thanks for sharing these. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Has questions too, just let us know.
Awesome. So remember, if you have not hit the subscribe button, please go ahead and do that now. And the greatest compliment you can pay Dana and I is a couple of things. One, be sure and give us a great review. And then second of all, and most of all, pass this podcast on to someone that you think that would benefit from the conversations. If you have an opportunity, a challenge, a question, or a guest that you think would fit well on the podcast, be sure and reach out to us, info@everything life and real estate. Dana, I'll see you at family reunion.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.